Good morning and welcome to Play and Learn. I'm Dr. Susan, and this is the wonderful month of December, and we are going to be taking an adventure throughout the whole month to talk about the different holidays and the different celebrations that we have in the month of December. So the first one that's happening right now that started on the 11th is Hanukkah. So we're going to listen to a story called The Littlest Candle. I think that's it, Littlest Candle? Yes, The Littlest Candle. And we're going to learn a little bit about what Hanukkah is about. And then I'm going to share a little bit about what the Center for Spiritual Living's philosophy or beliefs are in regards to celebrating the holidays and one of the special things that we do for Christmas. So we're going to talk about that too, and I'm going to show you how to make a dreidel. Well, it doesn't take very long, and it's a fun little project to do, and it's a fun game. So let's get started, with the story, and then we'll talk a little bit about all the rest of it after we do that. All right? So please join me and enjoy the story. There we go. All right. This is The Littlest Candle, a Hanukkah story. It's by Rabbis Carey and Jesse Oli, I can't even pronounce her last name, but it's Olitzky, and it's illustrated by Jen Kassman. So let's take a look at the story. Inside a small house, inside a small drawer, lived a group of candles. You can see them over there on the left, on my left. One December evening, the candles peeked out of their drawer and shouted for joy. The sun was beginning to set. It was almost Hanukkah. Craig, I can't even pronounce the spelling, but it's a Jewish pronouncing for Happy Hanukkah. Said Waxy. He says Happy Hanukkah. He's saying, greeting all of the other candles. Waxy was the wisest of the candles. It's time for our favorite holiday. For 8 nights, our flames will take center stage, and we get a chance to shine. All the candles began chattering. Now, Waxy added, we have to decide which of us will be lit on the first night. The candles jumped up and down, everyone. Each one raised a hand. Pick me, said Globe. Pick me, Twinkle yelled louder. The candles pushed one another out of the way for the chance to be chosen. Little Flicker, the smallest of the candles, sat quietly listening from the corner. He didn't like to stand out and be the center of attention. He knew he could never compete with taller candles, even if he raised his hand. His wick wasn't high enough to be seen. Hanukkah celebrations the victory of the tiny Jewish army led by the Maccabees over the giant Asian Greek army. A victory for the underdog, Waxy continued. When the Maccabees reclaimed the temple in Jerusalem, they wanted to light the menorah that was inside. There was only enough oil for 1 day. Flicker added quietly, but the menorah burned brightly for 8 days. That's right, Waxy said. In olden days, we used oil. Today, we usually light candles on this holiday to bring light into the world and to celebrate the miracle of the Maccabees. Hanukkah is a reminder that sometimes, even when you are small, you are still capable of miracles. Flicker smiled from his place at the back of the drawer. Waxy remembered how the small candle always volunteered to clean up the corners of the drawers, where the largest candles couldn't reach. Little Flicker might be small, but he certainly had a big heart. He's a busy candle. As the candles talked over each other, trying to prove that they were the best, Sparky and Sparkle took a step forward. The twins were always lit together every week to welcome in the Shabbat, and took their jobs very seriously. The Shabbat is the beginning of their holy day. Sparky always made sure to remember the time so that the candles were ready, exactly at sunset on Friday. And Sparkle made sure to protect the peace during the ceremony so that the calm of the Shabbat could settle over all who celebrated. "We are the Shabbat candles," they said in unison. "Every week we are the first to welcome the Shabbat on Friday night. We should also be the first to welcome Hanukkah." "Great idea," said Little Flicker, called out from the back of the drawer. "They deserve it. They know how it's done." Smokey looked down at Little Flicker as the small candle spoke. He remembered that Little Flicker often waited until all the other candles had been eaten to be sure there was enough for everyone. First doesn't always mean best, thought Smokey. "Don't be silly, Mrs. Wicks," the tall, twisted candle stepping forward. "I am the Hanukkah candle," she said, trying to make her voice sound very important. "I am lit every Saturday night at the end of Shabbat. My strong, bright light helps carry the joy of Shabbat into the rest of the week." Wow, she's very fancy. She has a lot of wicks, too. She brushed back the wicks on her head as she continued. "My flames are so strong because I'm actually 3 braided candles. I am the strongest, so I should be the first candle lit in the menorah," Mrs. Wicks demanded. "The Havdalah candle makes a good point," Little Flicker agreed. "She's like all the flames of the menorah in one single candle. She is strong and would make a good choice." But sometimes that strength can be dangerous, thought Blaze. He remembered the time Ms. Wicks' flames were so big they almost got out of control. Little Flicker had alerted everyone to the danger. Thank goodness for his quick thinking. See what he did? Waxy tried to restore order. "Listen up," he said. "If we cannot agree on the candle to be lit first, then maybe we should all be lit at the same time." "But that's not how it's done," Little Flicker whispered. "We start with one candle and then add another candle each night, because the great rabbis had taught us that the light in the world should only grow brighter." "That's true," Waxy said. "Who said that?" he asked, looking all around at all the candles. Not a single one raised their wicks. "Who said that?" he asked again. "It was me," Little Flicker said. All eyes turned to the back of the drawer, to the tiny torch in the little corner. "You are absolutely correct, Little Flicker," Waxy said. "Maybe you should be the first night's candle." "Oh, no," he said, quickly responded. "There are plenty of better candles than me, like Sparky and Sparkle and Miss Wicks. Smokey's older, and Blaze's flames are brighter. Twinkle and Glow burn so beautifully. Really, anyone is better than me," he insisted. "Yeah," the candles explained. "Pick me," one called out again. "No, me," yelled another. Waxy thought about it for a second. Maybe Little Flicker was right. Maybe I should find someone else to be the Hanukkah's first night's candle. But I also need a candle to be my helper. "I need a helper, a shamash," Waxy explained. "I need a special candle to help light all the other candles. Little Flicker, you think about others first. You support the other candles. You encourage them to go ahead of you. So I need you, Little Flicker." There was a gasp in the drawer. The candles looked at each other, embarrassed. They were so worried about who was going to be the first night's candle, they hadn't even thought about helping each other. Little Flicker, whose flames barely glistened, should be the shamash, the helper candle. All the candles were silent as the drawer opened wide. They heard a voice say, "Let's get our shamash candle," as if they were one. All the candles pushed Little Flicker forward. They wanted little Flicker to be the highest place on the menorah. And he was. All of a sudden, little Flicker wasn't so little. He was taller than all the other candles. He smiled brightly because he knew he was there to help. And that was the most important way to bring more light to Hanukkah. There's the family all celebrating all the different foods. I know I watched a show and they said that the little jelly donuts that the little girl's eating, that's one of their favorite snacks. And they have special gold coins that they play with the dreidel. And they also have other potato cakes called latkes. And that's the things that they enjoyed at the family celebration on the first night. Happy Hanukkah, the end. So I don't know how many of you boys and girls have had the opportunity to, maybe you have some Jewish relatives or Jewish friends that you know, that you've gone to any of the celebrations. They're very special and very beautiful. They have their menorah, which is it's typical or very close to what we consider our Christmas tree that we celebrate for Christmas in honoring the Christ. We look at that and the idea of the oneness that we all are. And they use their candles. They have 8 candles that they light and the shamash, which is the little candle, little Flicker. And he was the one that stood the tallest because they lit all the other candles off of him, off of that little candle. So I have a menorah here. It's a very small one, but size doesn't matter. It's simple of the fact of the idea that it's here, and they use it every year. So there's 8 places here across, and then there's one tall one, and that's where the shamash candle sits. And it sits there for the whole 8 weeks. And they always light that one first, and then when you put the other candle there, it's lit off of that candle. So I'm going to take and these are little thin candles that I found that are called Hanukkah candles. They come in a box that looks like this. And you can see here's a menorah on this one, and it's shaped a little differently. But the tall candle is in the middle and not at the end. And I guess it's just everybody decides on the different kind of designs. So that's the one they did. So that candle goes here first. And they have lots of lovely colors. And the colors aren't specific. They're just here. Now, I'm not going to light these candles because you're only supposed to light one. Whoops, they're a little wobbly each day. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. And it's a very special, whoops, this one has wax in it, so it doesn't want to stay. What are we having? I have to get a little Flicker out here to straighten up these candles. So they really do sit here. That one goes in much better. There we go. I think it's because there's just a lot of wax in this one. It doesn't want to sit in there. But there's the candles. I should have tried these before, but I didn't. So anyway, you'll get the basic idea. So that these are really unhappy with me. Just don't want to stay. But anyway, we'll keep trying. So as they light the candles each night, they do a special prayer, and then they light this one, and then they light off of that one, and then they add to the light. And the purpose of this was to celebrate that the Maccabees, who took back the Jewish temple, celebrated, and as the story said, there was only a little bit of oil, and they thought it would only burn for one night. Yet it burned for 8 nights, and that was the miracle that they experienced. And this is how they celebrate. And remember that even though it was a small group of people that wanted back what they felt was theirs and to celebrate what they believe, and so they ended up celebrating Hanukkah. And So it usually falls between in December, not always the same time. This time I believe it starts on the 11th and goes to the 18th, the 8 days. But this is the menorah, and it's very cool, and it's very pretty too. And I imagine as you light the candles, how much light comes off of it, which is beautiful. But the other part about candles, candles are used in lots of different ways in which people celebrate special events. I know at the end of the month, on the 29th, we're going to talk about it on the 27th, there's Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa is an African American holiday that they celebrate at the end of the year into the first part of the year, which I believe is January 2nd or 3rd. But anyway, they have candles too. They have, I believe it's 8, as the Hanukkah candles are, and they have one special candle that they light off the other candles. So it's very similar to it, and yet it's a very special holiday for them too. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it now because we're going to talk about it then. And that's one of the other ways that people use candle in ceremonies. I know when you go to the Catholic Church, there's always candles burning, and you light a candle for people that you want to remember. And those are very, very special things that a candle represents the light. And the light is the feeling of love and things that you have inside of you for not only who you are, but who the people in your world are, your family and your friends and your relatives. So that light spreads out. And that's a great picture and depiction of what that light does. And the story was really cute in how all those candles felt they were the best and they would be the best Hanukkah candle to be lit first, but yet the helper candle was the one that was lit first. And then that candle was the one in which the rest of the 8 candles were lit off of. They had to work as a team, and I know in a lot of Jewish families, in the traditions that they have, is that everybody gets an opportunity to light one of the candles, which is very special. It's a very special time. And it's a very special meaning to all of them, as we do with Christmas. There's Christmas candles all the time. You see them everywhere. But they have special meaning. They create light. And create light creates hope and creates those feelings that there's more wonderful things coming. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the candles that we use. We have a special night. We call it our candlelight service, which is honoring Christmas. So I'm going to show you what we do with that and the meanings behind that, so you can see how that works and how it all kind of puts us all together as one. It kind of ties us all together, which is really the truth, because we're all human beings, right? Whether we're boys or girls or moms or dads or aunts or uncles or any of that, no matter what our status is, we're still human beings. We're still the same. And it doesn't matter what color our hair is, our eyes are, or where we were born, or how old we are. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. We're all the same on the inside. So this is one of the ways that we all get to share what we believe and what we have that's important to us. As the Jewish people, the Hanukkah, celebrating Hanukkah is very special to them because they're celebrating their history and their culture. And that's wonderful that we get to see that and get to see how they do that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not lighting the candles, is because it's a very special and a very solemn practice that they have. So, but this is what the menorah looks like, and these are the candles that they use. And we have a wonderful friend that let us use this, and his name is Mark, and he let us use these and gave us the candles. So it's very special to us. We don't celebrate Hanukkah as the Jewish people do, but we like to recognize it because we are all one, and we all believe in different ways. So I'm going to take these down for now, so that if I move it, they don't fall all over the place again. So we'll move this, and then I'm going to show you, before I go to the other candles I was talking about, is I'm going to show you how to make a dreidel, because they have a game that the kids play at Hanukkah. Excuse me for getting out of your sight. And it's called a dreidel, and it's a spinning game. And the I'm going to show you a picture of what it looks like. This is what it looks like before we cut it apart. And then the symbols, this one here means do nothing, and it's part of the game, and I'll explain that in just a few minutes. And this one means take everything. This one means take half. And this one means put one in. And actually, I have it upside down. It goes like that. And this means put in one. So these are kind of like the rules of the game that are right here. And I didn't bring any coins with me. They use gold coins. It's actually gold wrapped candy. You've seen that before. You can get that just about any candy store or any of the stores. But the game is a lot of fun, and you play it with these gold coins. So that's the part. Now, I've already cut this one out. The only thing I have left to cut out is the little square. And the little square is kind of like a place you put the spinner. And the spinner is actually a pencil. Or you could use a stick, a sharp pointed stick, I guess. I'm going to get this cut first. There we go. Cut this out, and then we'll put it together. And if you want to find out information about how to play the game, the details and everything else, you just simply look up online, or have mom or dad help you do that. You look up online, and you just look up Hanukkah dreidel. And dreidel is spelled D-R-E-I-D-E-L. That's how you spell dreidel. So you just cut these out. And on this piece of paper, this one here, it doesn't look like the same pattern, but it is. And that's what it'll look like when it's finished. It tells you this, and it tells you a little bit how to play the game. So if you're interested in doing something like that, and all you have to do is just have a little thick paper, like maybe cardstock. It has a little bit more weight to it than just a regular piece of paper. So you want to have that. Okay, so I've got that all done. Now, we have these little tabs that you have to fold over. I've folded some of them, as you can see. So we're going to fold the rest of these over. That. And it's, okay. So, and this is the top. This is number 6. And here's number 7. And here's number 8. And they have it numbered from 1 to 8. Gee, isn't that funny? They use 8 candles, and their game has 8 tabs for how you put it together. All right. So we're going to take this and 1 and 2 go together like that. And I'm going to use Scotch tape because I don't think glue is going to dry fast enough so you can see how the game works. So I'm just going to use Scotch tape on it for right now. That'll hold it. Then you go 3 to 4. And you tape those 2 tabs together. Whoops. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. Whoops. Let me get this right. Practice is always good before you show somebody how to do this stuff. Okay, so we're going to go here like this. This one and this one go together because you're trying to make a point at the end. So we're going to put these 2 together. It's being stubborn. There we go. Okay. It's making me work hard here. There we go. Take these corners. That. And then you pull these together like that. There we go. Just had to pull it right. Okay, so we're going to take this one like this. It's much easier if you use glue But like I said, the glue takes a little bit longer to dry. So we're just going to tape it like this so that we can get the idea across of what it looks like. So I'm going to tape this one here. Like that. I know it's hard for you to see what I'm doing. It's hard for me to see what I'm doing at this moment. And then this one goes here. Yeah, get in there. There you go. And I think, so it's like putting a, kind of like a roof together. When you have all 4 points come together. Oops. This is not the best in the whole wide world, but it'll give you a rough idea. Okay, and then we glue this part together. Just tape these two here, this one, and then these two on the side. There we go. Now, when you print this out, then you can color it if you want to give it some fancy colors. You can do that. Then the pencil goes in the top, and you just put it through the bottom, just so it's coming out like that. We'll see how good I did. All right, here we go. And then it's going to stop on one of the signs. Can you see that? It's going to stop on that. Let's see if it'll stop on a different one. Yep, there we go. So you spin it like that. See, and there's another one. So whatever one is up, facing out to you, you do what the activity says. And on this little piece of paper, it's going to explain to you how you play the game. So it's a lot of fun, and it's not too difficult to make. So you can get, like I said, you can get that online, and you can get the pattern and make it out of cardstock, and you can tape it a whole lot better than I did. But it's this, and then everybody gets an opportunity as it goes around the circle to spin it, and you do what the little symbol says. All right? So there's that part. Now the other part I wanted to share with you before about starting with the Hanukkah. Everybody has different things that go along with the different holidays and the way they celebrate them. And one of the things that we do, we have a candlelight service where everybody gets together. Of course, this year we're not able to do that, as a lot of people, and I know as they're celebrating Hanukkah, they're not able to get the whole family together if they don't live in the same house. So they're celebrating in different ways. Now, the way in which we're going to be doing it this year is we're going to do it on Zoom, and I know you guys know all about Zoom, especially if you're in school, because you do a lot of Zoom for schoolwork and stuff. And that's how you see your teachers and some of your classmates. But so we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be doing that on the 23rd. It's a Wednesday evening. And we have 7 candles that we light, and each candle has a word that has importance to each and every person. And it probably would have similar feelings and similar ideas no matter what your belief system is or what you do specifically to celebrate the holidays. So we're going to make kind of like the menorah. I'll just bring that back over here so you can still see it. So that's that one. So there's that. Now, we usually have these in little individual candle holders. But this time, because we can't all be together in the same place, we're going to, there's going to be 7 people that have a different candle at their house. And they'll have a little candle holder, and they'll have a candle. And when it becomes their turn, then they're going to be lighting their candle, and they're going to be saying something that relates to the word that goes to the color of their candle. So I'm going to show you that right now, just so it gives you a different idea of other ways, as they did with menorah. We do all 7 on one time, and they do 8, and they do theirs one night each time for the 8 days. And theirs, the Jewish celebration is to represent the celebration of the having their church or their temple, what they call it, back to them, that belongs to them. So what we're going to do first is I just got this block of styrofoam. And of course, when we're going to light a candle, we certainly don't want the styrofoam not to be protected because we don't want to make a mess. And we certainly don't want flames to go someplace they're not supposed to go. So we're going to cover this with foil. And so it's just like wrapping, it's like wrapping a present. See, we're all going to have lots of practice doing that in the next week or two, right? We're going to be able to wrap presents. And presents are a wonderful thing to give and a wonderful thing to get. We're going to talk a little bit more about that next week, on about those kinds of ideas. And I've also got another story we're going to tape next that you can watch on on YouTube that we'll be doing. So we'll talk about that in a little while. Okay, so we're going to take the foil, we're going to wrap it so that it's folded over, just like a package. So I'm going to go on this side. This is what you call a makeshift candle holder. And we just want to know that whatever we do, we sure it's safe. Now, of course, we don't do any of this unless we have Mom and Dad's permission to do this. Of course, hopefully they'll help you do this because it's kind of fun. It's a fun thing to do. Now, the words that I'm going to share with you are words that are important to our belief, and in that, let's see, I'll put a piece of tape across this. In our philosophy, it's called New Thought, or our center is the Center for Spiritual Living. So we're going to flip it over like that, and now we have a place, kind of like a menorah. See, it's kind of similar, and it's really fun and nice that we can all share different ideas and share how things are very similar, yet they have different meanings, and that's okay too. All right, now we have 7 colors, and the first color that I'll put on is wisdom, and wisdom is purple. Yeah, that's purple. So now I have to take my scissors, and I'm just going to start it. I'm just going to poke a hole here, like that, like a little X. There you go. So we're going to put the candle in there and hope I made it big enough and can squish it in there. That's why we have scissors, right? There we go. So hopefully we can get the candle to go down into the styrofoam. And you want it down far enough so that it isn't wobbly. Certainly not wobbly like we had here. Okay. Pink represents joy, and that's this one. So we're going to do the same thing here, is to make the hole. Now these candles all aren't the same size because I couldn't get find my colors that I wanted in the same size candles. But that's all right, and it makes it kind of interesting. Okay, there's that. And then we have the next one. Same idea. And I'm sure you could get Dad or Mom to help you with this part of it. And then they could help you create your kind of like your candle stand. Okay, so there's that one. All right, and then we have our red. And this one represents, this represents love. There we go. A little easier each time we try it, right? I have to make sure I get it close enough together so that we've got room for all 7 of our candles. And this is purple. Kind of keep going down like that. And I'm sure that Mom and Dad or an adult in your family may be able to create a better kind of candle holder than this, or you can actually use the individual candle holders too. That's solely up to whatever you want to do. Okay. So there's our 6, right? 3, 6. And the 7th candle is this one. I'm going to put it in the front because I've run out of space. But that's all right. So we're going to put this one here. Go. We'll put this one here like that. And I'm not going to actually light these candles because what I have set up here isn't the safest, so we don't want to do anything that's not safe, right? So we want to be sure to have them in the right space. But I'll tell you what the candles are, and the lavender one is wisdom, and when we light this, we simply say, I am wisdom. And then if you could think of something, a statement or an idea that you want to share, not only for yourself, but whoever's with you, is maybe the wisdom is, I use my wisdom to make good choices. So it's kind of like called an affirmation. I'm going to affirm the idea of what this is. And pink is joy. I am joyful and peaceful. And then the blue one is beauty. I am the love and the beauty of all that is. It depends on how you want to do that. I appreciate and recognize the beauty of nature. Okay, and I am beauty too. And the red one is I am love. And the love is the love that you have not only for yourself, but for your whole world. The world in which you live in, and the world wider than where we are. All right? And then the purple one is, that's purple, yes. The purple one is power. I am power. I have the power to make choices for myself. And I know that from what I've learned and who I am and my family and the culture I live in, that I can make positive choices that empower me to do and be who I want to be. And the gold one is joy. Oh, I did joy already. Gold one is joy. The, yeah, okay. Did I get all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, here we go. Okay, and this one is the candle of, I guess I didn't write that one down. All right. But the candles each represent a different word. And the other nice thing, too, that you can do with this with your family, maybe your candles would represent each person in your family. That they would have a candle and they could say that this one means maybe love to me, or light, or beauty, or joy. And you can add those and put those things to make it personal to you. These are just some of the words that are important to recognize who we are. And of course, the white one is light. We are the light of our own self, that we shine as bright as we want to shine. And we also have the, when we light the candle, we shine our light into the world. As with the menorah, they said that each time they light the candle, and by the time they get to the 8th day, how much light they have brought into the world. And it isn't necessarily just the candles that bring the light. It's all the people we have in our lives, you and me and our families and our friends and our community and our state that we live in and the world in which we live in. All of those things are what brings light to the world. So those are the things that kind of like the ceremony that we do, and that we say an affirmation that relates to the colors that we particularly have. But again, it's important to make it your very own, to make it important for you and mean something to you. Those words and those colors of candles may not mean that to you. You can use anything you choose. You can, the white can be the unity of your family. It could be just about anything that you want. But it might be something that you want to practice with your family. Make your own tradition. And this is just the one that we do on the candle lighting service. That's what we do. And the Jewish culture, does the menorah. But look, it's very similar, right? And when we get down to the end of the month, when we talk about Kwanzaa, you're going to see how that falls into that same similarity and the recognition that we're all one. We just do it differently. And being different is perfectly good and perfectly okay. So I hope you enjoyed the story about Hanukkah and the importance of the candles and who we are and how we fall into that order and how we let our light shine. And the whole idea is to let your light shine and let the love that you are shine out to the world, because it makes your world different and it makes the neighborhood different. It makes your community different. It makes the world different. And that's the important part. So enjoy the rest of your week. Be a bright light and shine all over the place. So you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you later. So enjoy your day and happy holidays a little early, because it's happy holidays for the whole month. So take care. See you soon.